Hey world, it's being able to come back live, back in the garden. Appreciate you joining me in the garden family. DJ, what it be? What it be? I want to talk about a couple things before I get out of here, guys. Like I say, I was down and out in Beverly Hills with a little flu bug, and it was so crazy because it was such a rapid onset, right? And it kind of gonna go to what I'm gonna talk about tonight because I just think that's kind of crazy. Me and a partner of mine, we've been kind of noticing a lot of things that have been going on, and if you're not conscious of your surroundings, if you're not conscious of nature, I know as a kid I used to look up at the skies all the time. You dig? And so what I'm gonna talk about tonight, I think will have some relevance and everything. So I really appreciate you guys. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and put the notification button so you know when I'm dropping another video. And I just think it's kind of crazy. I don't know if you guys out there got affected by that drastic change in weather. They called it an Arctic blast. And so that's why I say social consciousness is really something I think a lot of people don't really take heed to, because social consciousness, global warming, Arctic blast, those are oxymorons. Hey, Jazz, those are oxymorons. And so, when you get into what I'm going to get into tonight, you just got to start kind of thinking outside the box. Because, see, so many times, we just kind of go on everyday misinformation from the time we get out of school to the time, you join a group of people and you kind of roll with that doctrine. And unless you actually able to kind of get by yourself, think outside the box, and start listening to the things that the Most High blessed us with, which are common sense. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a common sensus, because my vision, my hearing, my feel, my taste, and then my third eye, I think that's a lot to be able to rely on when some things that in your gut don't seem right. Okay, and before I get into that, if you didn't get a chance to check out my video I did earlier about Kanye West and Joel Osteen, I thought it was quite interesting. I had some comments, and remember, I love all the comments. Good and bad, it's all love. But I think having a lack of self-awareness and not knowing where you are can have you make comments and have a different narrative that's, totally away from what the context of the video was about. Okay, just to reiterate, I did a video today, and that video was about Kanye West being in town, and I just asked a question. I just gave out some food for thought. I think it's interesting, and LV Teach Me, shout out, brought that to my attention as well, about how if you're not from Houston or if you're not socially conscious, then you're not going to be empathetic or sympathetic about the plight of others, right? And so, here in Houston, we had a bad storm, a bad hurricane. I'm telling you right now, I was here in Houston during Katrina, right? And so there's still people suffering from that. So having Hurricane Harvey hit us not too long ago and still have a number of people that are still suffering, I just asked the question. Did Kanye West not know about that? And then I had commenters say that I'm hating and that it's that I shouldn't say anything, that Jesus loves us. First of all, I'm not religious. I don't believe in all that. I'm a spiritual cat. I believe in the Most High. So that religion, Jesus love me stuff, that don't work on me. You dig? What will work on me if somebody that can have a clear understanding of what I was talking about, which if you've been in the garden a long time, you know what I was talking about. The hypocrisy. All right? Performing in front of, prisoners and performing in front of the church congregation. To me, those are the two, most brainwashed people out there. And I'm not judging. I'm just being perceptive. That's just my opinion. We can always agree to disagree, but I just think it's interesting that, Joel Osteen didn't open up that church during Hurricane Harvey when there's a lot of people located on that side of town that didn't get love. All right. But go check out the video if you get a chance to check it out. Right. It wasn't hating on Kanye. I don't even know the cat. I'm not a worshiper. I'm not an idolater. I don't do with all that. You did. Now, if he would have been going to a school and doing something with some kids, or to a shelter, or some with some tangibility, then of course that's a different story. All right, but I just have a sour taste in my mouth when I think about that whole Joel Osteen thing. It was just too soon, you know. And so, but I digress. Family, I don't know if you look up in the skies, and I just want to ask the question: why are they spraying the skies? And some of my younger audience, you may not, if you're even conscious of it. Some of you guys that's in your 20s and your 30s, maybe that's all you've ever known. The skies being striped with what they call contrails or chemtrails. That's pretty much become an average norm for especially the younger generation. But older cats like myself, that wasn't the case when I was younger. Abdul, what's up? Chino, what's up? The earth isn't flat. I never said the earth was flat, but I digress. It's not round either. I mean, if you until someone proved to me that the earth is round and spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, then we can talk about it. I mean, not CGI. We can talk about it. You did? I mean, if you and I talk about looking at the skies, because if you look at the skies and be more conscious of your surrounding, you'll be able to make better assessments, right? Just yesterday, I mean, around 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning, the sun was up, shining bright. And so was the moon, right across from each other. How is that possible in our particular solar system, where you have the sun shining bright on one side and the moon shining bright on the other side? So let's just look at things for what it is. I never said the earth was flat. I'm asking questions. Okay? And so if you're not ever looking at the skies, you're not gonna know this. All right? So why do they paint the skies, family? What are those stripes up there in the sky for? What is that for? All right? I can tell you that, NASA has already admitted that they spray in the sky with lithium to treat manic depression and bipolarism from the sky. That there's some of the chemicals that in some of those chemtrails are lithium. That's come from NASA. Check it out. You did? And so if NASA is admitting that, yes, we do spray the skies with lithium for health reasons. It's called vaccinating the skies, right? But then you go back and you do a little bit more research, you find out that the military also sprays the skies with military jets. And there's been a lot of speculation on what exactly are in these chemtrails. And family, if you don't know what chemtrails are, they actually, if you look up in the sky, and we're talking way, way up there, these jets, and they fly out and they leaving a white trail behind them. And I would say that wouldn't be nothing out of ordinary if I didn't see them in so many different patterns. Look it up, family. And so with my particular understanding of our existence, of course, there's no way we spinning 1,000 miles per hour like this in space. You did? Following the sun at over 400,000 miles per hour. Okay? Where all the planets in our solar system supposed to come in front of us, in front of the sun, in front of us, because of the sun, right? But we never ever see those planets in front of the sun. But we see the moon. So a lot of these things that I feel were taught from a astronomy standpoint just doesn't make sense. The solar system, all that kind of stuff, it just doesn't make sense to me. And so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna kind of go on my senses, continue to be a common senses, and then once the answers come up, then they come up. But you can't explain that. I mean, you can't explain how does the sun and the moon and the sky at the same time? How these patterns of chemtrails in the sky and all these different patterns. If it's up there, they have to come down. And there have to be some type of chemicals in there. Okay. Okay, let's see. Hey, baby sis, what's up? KY, you still in California, you back in Texas. All right, fella? So, just throwing some questions out there. Just throwing some questions out there. I mean, you know, it's not an accident that the respiratory disorders, the respiratory illnesses, asthma, a lot of these sicknesses, a lot of these diseases are pretty much concentrated in high populated areas. You don't see these chemtrails in low densely populated areas, only in the more populated areas. And so you got to ask yourself, what's going on with that? Because a lot of people get sick. And you do a little research and you find out a lot of these things that are in these chemtrails contain barium, thorium, aluminum, mold spores, metals. Okay, is it an accident that a lot of people suffer from headaches and memory loss, and in our case, cognitive dissonance? No doubt, strong. Yeah, that's no doubt. No doubt, Ryan. All right, and a lot of these health problems that we're experiencing. Remember, family, and I'm not even a Christian, but I read the Bible many, many times. Family, make sure you hit that like button. I read the Bible many, many times. And in Genesis, even if you're a Christian, if you believe in the Bible, if you believe in this whole religion thing, right there in the Bible, it tells you that, that we're in a firmament. I mean, someone mentioned in the garden about a rainbow. How you have a rainbow on a spinning globe? You did? So a lot of the answers are right there in your face if you just wake up a little bit, pay attention a little bit. It's not an accident this stuff is in the sky, because I promise you, just think about how cognitively dissonant we are as a nation. There's no way people can be in their right state of mind, cannot have these chemicals that are being sprayed on us affect us in some type of way, maybe psychologically, emotionally, mentally, because there's no way you can explain the docility of the common man in America, in the world for that matter. I mean, they say Social Security is not going to be around in 2035. Think about this. You got people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s have been putting in Social Security all those years. They put out there that Social Security may be insolvent by 2035, and there's no revolution. So that tells me it got to be something. All right? We have the homeless situation out of control. You have they throw all this different misinformation on us, and no one says something. And then people talk and criticize and leave bad comments about a Kanye West or support Kanye West, and y'all don't even know him? Really? And he's with Kim Kardashian? Do some research, family. You did? Do some research. Okay? So look out, Blake. So like I say, why they spraying the skies, family? Do you have any answers to that question? And if not, we can move on. But I just thought that was interesting, especially when you see the sun and the moon in the sky at the same time, just the other day. All right? Just the other day. Family, make sure you pack family members out there that got your 401ks. Excuse my voice. I'm not going to be all long, family. I'm still kind of coming over or getting over this little flu bug. And like I say, me being a coach, I'm outside a lot. It's kind of ironic that soon as the Arctic blast come in, bam, the flu bug hits. You did? But like I say, check your 401ks. Okay? Check your 403s. Check your 457, because remember, those chemtrails got us this dumbed down where we don't have a problem with the politicians, not addressing or adequate healthcare policy. They tell us about unemployment being all the way down, the lowest unemployment in years, right? But don't address wages. Don't address high wages. Don't put in these policies where these corporations must keep up the wages with inflation. You tell us that you're going to raise inflation 2% every year, but the wages don't raise, and no one has a problem with that. So I'm telling you, it got to be the chemtrails. It got to be. How can we go to work every day and don't have a problem getting paid every 2 weeks or every month, and knowing that all the productivity that you gave to that company that day is going to increase the profits and the revenue of those companies, but we don't have a problem getting paid every 2 weeks? We don't have a problem with the government telling us that Social Security that they take out of our check can only be 6.2% or 7%. That's it. But what if I want to put back more? Oh no, you can't do that. Okay, and no one has a problem with that. Population control, no doubt, Pumpkin. I mean, think about it. People dying at a rapid pace. Okay, they dying at a rapid pace. Gina, thank you, man. All right. So all I gotta say is this, family. For my older audience, check your 401k and 403b and 457. So many times people say check them, but don't really get into specifics. A lot of times you contribute to your 401k at your job, and a lot of times your job is matching it. Okay. Well, your money is being contributed to a mutual fund, some type of fund that's tracking either the stock market, the S&P 500, or the bond market, or the foreign market, some markets. But like I tell you, right, if you've been in the garden, this market is going to crash. The Federal Reserve just said that it cannot sustain this type of debt much longer. We're at an all-time high in debt, right? The Federal Reserve has already lowered interest rates to almost 0%. Now, what does that mean for us? Well, that means that when I gave you guys information, remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. When I told you guys about Ally and these high yield interest online banks where you can put your money in depository banks that give you a higher percentage than your other banks. Remember, the average bank is giving you what, 0.1%, which is 10 cents on your dollar. Well, you have a lot of other these banks like Ally, BNC, a couple other ones that give you like 2%. But now, since the Federal Reserve have lowered interest rates, then guess what the banks have to do? They have to lower the interest rates of our deposits. So the Federal Reserve, you think doing the economy a favor by lowering interest rates, hoping to boost the economy. But all you're basically doing is taking money from my savings account. Does that make sense, family? And so if you know that, then how do you think, or why do you think this economy is going to last so long? It's a big bubble. And if you're not conscious of that, then you're going to lose 50, 60% of your 401k or your 401k, your retirement. It happened in 2007, 2008. So check, how you get your statements every month, or you should. Find out what funds that your money is being tracked on. And then make sure you talk to your fund manager and tell them to reallocate to a safer, more less risky funds. Because a lot of times you guys that are younger, you probably got your money in moderate risk or high risk, or high growth funds. But see, what that means is they got your money in equities, in the stock market, in the bond market. So do your due diligence and check and see where your money is going. Because the last thing you need to do is lose 40, 50% of your 401k. Now, if you're a younger person, you have time to get back, because remember, when that market crash, it's going to go back up. And I told you before, if you didn't get a chance to watch my last video about the real Black Friday, believe me, family, it's not going and spending all your money. It's when this market crash and you'll be able to go and get a lot of good stocks and a lot of good companies for very, very low price. No doubt. Pay yourself first. No doubt. Because once you pay yourself first and let that money rise, when it crashes, baby, you'll be in a better situation. I promise you, it's not an accident. All these rich fund managers, these hedge fund managers, these corporations, they stacking cash because they know what's going to happen. I mean, they can't lower the interest rates but maybe one or two more times. And so when the market crashes, what is the Federal Reserve going to do? It can't lower interest rates to try to build up the economy. It's already at zero. So this crash is going to be one of the worst ones we ever had, and you're going to be in a great situation. We're talking real estate. We're talking the bond, the stock market, dividend stocks. It's going to be a lot of stuff out there to take advantage of. Okay, and remember, family, don't sleep on the cannabis market. Okay, the hemp market. They just legalized hemp in America in 2018. I'm pretty sure you see CBD commercials on the television all the time, on the radio, on the internet. CBD oils. Okay? That's not by accident. All right? All right, fam, I'm losing my voice. Like I said, I just want to put a little information out there. I want to ask the question, why they spraying the skies? Make sure you start looking up at the skies a little bit more, family, so you see what I'm talking about. And you just ask yourself a question. And then do a little research. And then start saying, do the research and ask yourself, or do the research and say, what was the respiratory disease rate in the 50s opposed to the respiratory disease rate and cancer rate and diabetes now? Okay. I think you'll see a huge disparity in the number of respiratory diseases and cancers and all these bad diseases that we have now compared to back in the 50s and the 40s before they start spraying these skies. I'm just saying, just food for thought, family. No doubt, Jazz. I got to give me some lemon tea. Matter of fact, I'm finna go do that right now. All right. So, family, thanks for joining me in the garden. Like I said, I want to come and pretty much clarify also, too, on the last video about not R. Kelly, but Kanye West. It's not about him. It's about the fact that where's the self-awareness, all right? Because you are who you hang with. You did? And make sure you check your 401ks. Pay yourself first and get ready for this crash because it's going to be a great opportunity for a lot of people. All right, family, in the meantime, between time, may the Most High and Saudi bring you joy and being with us out of 5,000. Love you guys.